I turned it off and on again. Hopefully that helps a little bit. I don't know. Opposite her was Uncle Hideyoshi. Next to Aunt Natsuhi, in the 6th row on the final seat on the left-hand side, sat Kirie-san. The seat opposite to Kirie-san was empty, even though silverware had been set there and everything. According to this ranking system, that spot was where Aunt Rosa's husband should be sitting. I don't know why it's being like this. Even though he wasn't supposed to be coming, his place was made up. Also, apologies. Ugh. Just choked on my water. Ah. Ow. Ugh. That hurt. Normally... Ugh. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Ugh. Normally, ranking systems of this sort give spouses equal positions as their partners. But the Ushiromiya family system was unique. Ugh. Maybe it's a remnant of male chauvinism. Sounds about right. If you start with the assumption that a woman's womb is just something to be borrowed, then the children of direct descent would come first. Directly followed by the grandchildren. Ugh. I apologize. Oy. Streamer fucking dies live on stream. In other words, spouses have no blood ties and are therefore placed at the end of the line. It's terrible. By this system, my grandmother would be ranked even lower than me if she were still alive. In their youth, they obey their father. After they get married, their husband. After aging, their children. Welcome back. I don't know why it's lagging. Ugh. I'm dying. Okay. Thank you, Stream Elements. Yes, I did stop and start it. Thank you. Jesus, that's fucked up. There's the old saying, women have no home in any realm. That's fucked up. Long ago, when I was still incapable of figuring all this out, I thought it was so great that we could all chat in our little groups, adult siblings with adult siblings and cousins with cousins. However, now I can re-examine the seating order after growing up a bit. It stirs up some very complicated feelings in me. Aunt Natsu, who was married to the eldest son and was the de facto number 2 in managing this family, sat to my right, which meant she was 2 steps lower than me in the ranking order. It was hard to imagine what must be going on inside her heart. That's why I made a small apologetic gesture towards her before sitting down.
お久しぶりですね、バトラ君。
How nice to see you, Battler-kun. God, my throat is... Ay, ay, ay. I choked on water. Ah. Ugh. Oh, yeah, I think they're interesting. I think definitely that, Maria's definitely gonna go through some shit. I'm, like, split on if George is gonna reveal that he's not as, if that's gonna be, he's not as composed, he's gonna, like, freak out, or if he, like, has some, like, hidden secrets or something. I mean, everyone has hidden secrets, of course. I hope Shannon will learn to defend herself. That would be good foreshadowing there. Although it's unfortunate how they went about it. I do wish they did not have to have Battler-kun act in such a way. More like Battler-kun. Ah, that's terrible. But true.
ずいぶん背が伸びまし
You've
たね
grown quite tall, haven't you?
あ
Yep.
食ったり食べたり
6
食事
long
したり
years
して
of
た
eating
ら
well, sampling various cuisines, and deriving sustenance from Mother Earth's bountiful gifts. Hard work, but I pulled through.
さすが男の子ね
Growing just like a boy, I see.
身長はいく
How
つくらい
tall
あ
are
る
you
の
now?
180
I guess
か
about 180 centimeters?
つうかおばさん
But on Atsuhi, that's
そ
where
こ
you're
は
supposed to say, heck,
食
that
べて
sounds
ばっ
like
か
all you
り
did
じゃ
was
ねえ
eat.
かって突っ込んでくださいよ
あ
Oh, I'm
あごめん
sorry.
なさいね
After a short pause, she did laugh with me, but it seemed she couldn't quite figure out what she was supposed to be laughing at. This woman is Aunt Natsuhi. She's the wife of the eldest son of the family, meaning she's my father's older brother's wife. Is it simpler if I just call her Jessica's mother? Oh no, she's the mother of... Or she's married to Kraus. She's not married... That's right. The old bastard up top doesn't have anybody right now. It feels bad if I say it like this. Well, I didn't exactly dislike her. I didn't particularly like her either. She hardly ever spoke with us kids, and all my memories of her involve her talking to the adults about complicated things with a scary look on her face. Yeah. In fact, since we hardly ever exchange words, I spent a long time trying to figure out how I should approach her. My throat is still not happy. Though my efforts seem to have ended in failure. Rip. Silverware sat neatly on the table, but the meal itself hadn't been brought in yet. As a general rule, you couldn't start a meal until the person sitting at the head of the table arrived. So as long as Grandfather didn't come, lunch would be put on hold indefinitely. Not even the appetizers would arrive. Simply put, the silence in this room was caused by our parents enduring their hunger while they waited for Grandfather to arrive. However, the grandfather from my memories would always show up on time to meals like this. He was the kind of person who would never be so late that it kept everyone waiting, especially after the entire group had arrived. Oh, is he dead?
遅えなじいさま
Oh, you're probably not supposed to say that, but you're right. Grandfather's pretty late.
俺の記憶じゃ
As far as I can
時
remember,
間
he
に
was
厳
always
格
strict
な
about
人だったと
time.
思うんだけどな
まあ
Well, that might have been true 6 years ago.
最近はそうでも
It
ねえ
hasn't
よ
been that way lately.
というか
In fact, he's off in his own little world so often that he doesn't even show up at
外
family
食にも
meals.
顔を出さすがに今日くらいは
Still,
足並みを
I
揃えて
figured
く
he'd
れ
at
る
least
って
come
思
down
ってたんだけ
today.
どなまあ私
And
は
again,
来な
I
い
feel a
方
lot
が
more
気楽で
relaxed and
嬉しい
happy
けどよ
without him. Damn. Or I guess... No, let me get back to this. How is the relationship? Yeah, Kraus's wife. But Kraus isn't the grandfather. Kraus is... But I guess these two live here? Kraus and Natsuhi? Along with Jessica. Oh yeah. I hope Kanan we figure out what the hell he's doing. What is up with him? Oh, here's Shannon. Furthermore, Shannon is nothing more than a pseudonym that she uses on duty, not her real name. Interesting. What are these tips? Wow. Nothing. Sorry, nothing.
Jessica!
Jessica! When her mother scolded her, Jessica stuck her tongue out and looked away. No way around it. Might as well wait until our host arrives. I glanced at the clock. I saw it was almost 12:20. Oh, it's for lunch, so that's a little bit afternoon. Here's the bastard. Ushiromiya Kenzo, the aged family head of the Ushiromiya head family. Fucking asshole. This man could be seen in his study. The clock had already passed noon, but he didn't even attempt to rise from his seat. His spectacles on, built up a growing pile of books with elaborate bindings, which he then read intently. Couldn't really say that he was having too much fun to stop. Rather, he filled the room with a sense of impatience, or perhaps a sense of impending danger, as though every second wasted was a tragedy. In the sealed room, a dense dust danced through the air, which was thick with the stench of chemicals that exuded a mix of suspicious odors. Yeah, I don't think Battler's gonna... Someone's gotta force him down and make him drink Respect Women juice. Also, when did these stop? Oh, they stopped then. Okay. Sorry about that. There we go, that should be better. Those odors were somehow sweet and heavy. If anyone with a normal nose came in here, the first thing they'd do would be to open a window and ventilate this room. Knocking against the study door had been going on for a while. A voice calling father sometimes mingled with the knocks. As Kinzo heaved a deep sigh, he snapped shut the old book in his hands and slammed it on the table. Then he yelled at Kraus, who was still knocking on the door. Silence! Enough with that racket, you fool! Who told you the door would be opened if you but knocked? I'll crucify the imbecile! Do you wish to suffer the same fate? What a drama queen. Father, this is the day of the family conference, which happens only once a year, is it not? Everyone's gathered down below. Please come out. Kraus called out to his father through the door. Kinzo always shut himself up in the study, hating it when nearly everyone, even his family, entered the room. For that reason, Kraus had no choice but to call to him from the corridor like this. Molest me not! Just who is this everyone of which you speak? Do you mean the fools trying to drag me out of here? Then kill them all! Tear them apart, use their bodies for firewood, feed them into the witch's hearth. Put a pot in that hearth to boil the wormwood. Force the imbeciles who dare try to lure me out of here to drink the broth of the apocalypse. Soak their dregs in liquor. Ah, where is Genji? Call for Genji. What a cheery guy. Have my demonic absinthe prepared. The whispering of the green fairy reaches me no longer. Ah, where is Genji? Bring him here! On the other side of the door, Kraus, Nanjo, and Genji kept waiting for the master of the house, who stubbornly refused to come out. That's Kraus? Looks like he hates me to the core. My voice doesn't reach him anymore. Kraus shrugged as though saying it's no use and smiled bitterly. From the beginning, he hadn't really expected his father to respond to his calls. Yeah, this dude sucks. However, since it was the duty of the eldest son, he had tried as a formality. Kinzo-san, your sons, daughters, and grandchildren have come to see you, have they not? Could you just let them see your face, if only for a short while? Shut up! Be silent! You dare to admonish me, Nanjo? Yeah, you're fucking terrible. Get your ass out here. I never told anyone to get you. I told them to get Genji. Now call for him immediately. What a baby. He's just throwing a tantrum. This fucking baby man. Time is short and the apostles are already readying their trumpets. So why can't you foolish sheep understand? I really don't like this guy. I can't wait for him to die. Kinzo slammed an old heavy book against the table over and over. That racket clearly expressed his great displeasure. Kinzo put his spectacles down and flew up from his chair. Spread his arms wide open as if to sing to a packed opera house, as if appealing to someone, and yelled, Why? Why is there always something in my way? I would throw it all away. I would offer up everything. There's only one thing I ask in repayment. He really is throwing a tantrum. Or he's just...
おベアトリーチェ、お前の微笑みをもう一度見られるならば、私は世界中から
so down bad for her that you're ignoring your entire family, you asshat. Oh, Beatrice, if I could see your family, but see your smile, sorry, but one more time. Plunder the smiles of the earth and offer them all up to you. What a selfish bastard. Oh, commanders of the legions of locusts, reap the smiles of the earth. Everything is filthy, everything is irksome. Why must I suffer this impediment on the most precious of days? Call for Genji! This guy's pathetic. I mean, I guess, you know, I don't know who else I would have expected to lead this family, but the most pathetic man we've seen. I guess he's dying. Yeah, he's I think he got like 3 months left because he keeps drinking. But I don't give a shit. Fuck this guy. This is how he's deciding to spend his last days? Locking himself in his room and ignoring his family? Fuck him. Fuck you, man. I don't give a shit about anybody else. I have no idea what he's yelling about. He's probably lost his mind by now. Kraus-san, isn't it a bit harsh to say such a thing of your own father? More pathetic. This is the most pathetic man we've seen yet. He's crying like a baby about seeing this witch and saying he'll give everything. But his everything that he wants to give belongs to other people. He doesn't give a shit. Says he wants to gather up all the smiles in the world to give to her. Fuck this guy. My father is already dead. There's nothing here but a phantom of what father once was. At any rate, as long as he has no intention of coming out, there's nothing we can do. Kinzo-san. Choking coughs continued to pour from the study. I'm going back downstairs. It'd be a waste to let the fruits of Goda's prized cooking talent get any colder. I mean, I get he is just like an old man, but he's been an asshole all his life. Like, it seems like he was an asshole before he started losing his mind due to the witch. I don't know. Maybe they'll give me a good backstory on him, but I don't think I'll like him anyways. It's one of the few things our relatives can look forward to when they come to this house. Kraus spun around. He looked at his watch, mumbling and acting as though he'd been wasting time doing something he knew would be in vain. Genji-san. Father is calling for you. Keep him company. Certainly. I mean, he's just... pathetic is no better word. I don't think there's a better word to describe this man. He's crying and gnashing his teeth about... his regret. And ignoring everything else. He's so caught up in what he doesn't have that he's ignoring the family he does have. Like, not all of them are assholes, you know? He could be a decent person for the last 3 months of his life, but no, he wants to lock himself off and... I don't know. I don't like him. And I think they don't want me to like him. And I don't. Dr. Nanjo,
食事に行きましょ
let's
う
go eat.
いつまでもここにいると
If we stay here any longer, this sweet stench will ruin our sense of taste. Maybe I'm being too harsh. Without waiting for Nanjo, Kraus went downstairs. Genji urged Nanjo to go and eat. Nanjo glanced between the study door and Kraus's back as the latter disappeared down the stairs, then let out a deep sigh.
すまんが源氏さん
Sorry, Genji-san,
頼みます
but please allow me to leave this in your hands.
はい
Yes,
お任せ
please
くだ
leave
さい
it to me.
お酒は
Do
なる
what
べ
you
く
can
与え
to
ない
avoid giving him alcohol.
あれは常習性が
That's a
強
habit that's
すぎる
far too difficult to break.
源氏はまだか
Is Genji not here yet?
何者
Who
が
dares
源氏
keep
を
Genji
阻
from
んでいると
coming?
いうのか
Ah, where's Genji? Call for
源氏を
Genji!
呼べ
さあ
Please,
ここは
allow me to handle the situation here. Very well.
すみませんな
Forgive me. Nanjo bowed slightly and descended the stairs. Yeah, well, I mean, it's okay to cry, but not like this. This is... Like, emotion is good. I mean, I know I had a freaking, like, half-hour cry recently, in one of my last streams because of Fata Morgana, but this is just crying because you're a big baby and you can't have something you want. Genji watched him leave, then knocked on the study door.
親方様
Master,
源氏でござい
it
ま
is
す
Genji.
源氏か
Genji!
何
Why have you kept me waiting so long? You're alone, I trust. Correct.
私だけで
I
ご
am
ざい
alone.
ます
Kinzo returned to his seat in the study and pressed an old-fashioned switch on the table. After a small delay, the heavy sound of the door unlocking could be heard. Kinzo was convinced that his family wanted to make a mess of his study. Or perhaps someone had once opened the window for some air and ended up scattering things that, to him, were important research materials, leaving him in a terrible mood. Yeah, Genji doesn't get paid enough for this shit, however much he gets paid. Kinzo had outfitted his room with a formidable lock, preventing anyone from entering without his permission and thereby sealing himself in a jail of his own making. Genji, whom he trusted the most, was relatively free to enter the room, but even that didn't always hold. If Kinzo was in a bad mood, even Genji wouldn't be able to enter. Anyone else would be limited to holding a conversation through the door, unable to even see Kinzo's face. And most of the time, what they got could hardly be called a conversation. You know, maybe he's just like, there's this like sickly sweet smell in the room. Maybe he's just like too many vapors. Maybe all the shit, he's not ventilating the room. He's locking the door. Maybe all these vapors in the room are getting to his head. However, this didn't trouble the rest of the family much. I mean, it's like, you know, 9 times out of 10, you know. Hear about a ghost sighting? Check for a gas leak. This didn't trouble the rest of the family much. After all, it just wasn't worth the effort to disturb this aging family head, who was impossible to please and always stayed shut away, immersed in his research. Taking advantage of his refusal to leave his room, they supported his isolation, putting his care entirely into the hands of the servants. Oh. Well, they don't really care for him too much, but it sounds like he was an asshole anyways.
源氏いつものやつは頼む私は忙しい
はい
Yes, sir. Genji headed to a corner of the study. There, suspicious-looking bottles boasting venomous colors were on display. They were actually liquor, but considering the shady atmosphere of the room, One might easily suspect them of being some ghastly poison. Inside the study, the mysterious collection of books gathered by Kinzo had grown into a mountain. They were bizarre, ancient, or banned books, all of them either forbidden, cursed, or sealed. If you tried to call them old books, Kinzo would fly into a rage and say, "Call them grimoires!" Oh. He's a fucking nerd. There are also many mysterious objects that presumably held some meaning with regards to black magic, like candles suspiciously melted and molded into strange shapes. The constellations drawn on a certain celestial globe contained quite a few shapes that would draw puzzled looks from anyone familiar with tonight's night sky. Carelessly strewn about books contained many illustrations, all of them of a religious or mysterious nature, including some depicting demonically grotesque subjects or bizarre diagrams of various magical circles. And above all, a sweet poisonous smell filled the room, profoundly assaulting the eyes and noses of those who entered for the first time. Eventually, it must surely make a person go numb and lose their grip on reality. Inside that study, Genji prepared Kinzo's usual drink with a well-trained hand. No one would even think of drinking such an ominous dark green liquid in that complex and ornate glass, until someone first told them it was alcohol. He poured a little into the glass. Then he placed a cube of sugar in a strangely shaped spoon and poured water from a pitcher over it. Strangely, when the transparent water was poured, the dark green liquid turned a cloudy white. Cum! He's making cum! It was a strange optical illusion, as though the water had caused the chemical reaction and made the drink become even more unrecognizable as liquor. It's cum! Homemade cum! Enter the cum zone! Anyways, then Genji added original flavors Kinzo loved, fine-tuning its taste. Don't worry about it, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. There was no recipe. Its success was measured only by Kinzo's mood swings when he drank it, and it had taken Genji many decades to learn how to do it right. Genji placed the glass on a tray and walked over to Kinzo. By this time, Kinzo was gazing out the window.
どうぞ、親方様。
Here, master.
ああ、すまん。
Thank you. Oh, I'm actually surprised to hear him say that. Kinzo had regained his composure and was now unrecognizable as the shouting, screaming, yelling man from a few moments ago. Looking at this man from behind as he tilted his glass and gazed down at the scenery beyond the window, he projected a sense of dignity and intelligence. To allow Kinzo to set his glass down at any time, Genji motionlessly waited behind Kinzo and to his left, as though he were a living sideboard. Then, without averting his eyes from the window, Kinzo held out his glass. There was only a mouthful remaining. It was not a gesture intended to set it upon the tray, but a motion to hand the glass over to Genji.
飲め。
What? Drink,
我が友
my
よ。
friend. Okay.
もったいないお言葉です。
Your words are too kind for me.
私とお前の中に儀礼はいらぬ。飲め。
Drink,
友よ。
my friend. Oh, it's kind of gay, kind of homosexual.
いただきます。
Thank you, thank you. Genji respectfully received the glass and inclined it a little to taste its contents. After that, he gulped it down.
お前が作るのを
Tempted to
真似て
imitate
いる
your
のだが
concoction.
どうに
No
も
matter
同
how
じ
I
味
try,
が出ぬ。
cannot replicate the taste.
お前が作る方
Where
が
you
う
make it as
まい。
pure relish.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much.
親方様
It
の
is the
ご
fruit
指
of
導
your guidance,
賜物
master.
です。
Whoa! Hey! Oh! I accidentally hit the... There we go. Kinzo smiled as his loyal subject, who refused to put aside rank even when asked to. However, he was not making fun of him. His smile was relaxed, as though chuckling at a close friend's old unshakable habit.
互いに置いたな。
These bitches gay. We have grown old together.
年を
I
数え
stopped
る
counting the
こ
years
と
long
も
ago.
忘れてすでに久しい。
It is entirely thanks to you, Master, that I have been able to live like this until today. Yep, two stupid old men drinking together. I guess I like this, though. At least he's got someone that he's like actually talks to, but still, he's kind of a jackass to everyone else. Kenzo gave a faint smile as if to say he didn't need any flattery. Until now, you have served me exceedingly well. My sons call me eccentric. You are. Servants that were once many have all quit in fear of me. You're kind of an asshole. Only you serve me even now. Your words are more than I deserve. My life will not last much longer. My sons are vultures, lazily waiting for my inheritance to fall into their hands. Kraus is a fool who squanders money like water, who throws away 2 gold coins to obtain 1. And then he has the gall to claim that he's earned the money. Eva is a slave to money, thinks of me as a mere chicken. When I die, she plans to use my bones to make a broth. That dunce Rudolph just wants to fool around with women. Rosa bore the baby of a man who came from nowhere and about whom we know nothing. Hey. I'll agree with the other things, but come on. That's what you hold against her? Really? That's the worst you can say about her? You slut-shame her? Fuck you. She is a child. She is 18. Yeah, I'm sure you were very competent and very educated at 18, you old bastard. Jessica is incompetent and uneducated. George has none of what it takes to be a man. Kindness? You asshat. Battler is a fool who threw away the honor of the Ushiromiya family. Maria's obscene to the eye. What the hell does that mean? I wonder, you know, maybe it can be traced back to someone, huh? Maybe you can follow its lineage to somewhere. Maybe for an actual father it would have turned out differently, huh? Jesus. Why is the Ushiromiya blood so incompetent? Is there no one worthy to inherit the glory I built? Yeah, exactly. The pathetic tears. Well, of course. I know, this is part of Beatrice's curse, I know it. The Golden Witch, trying to take revenge against me in this way. If you want to hate me, then do so. If you want to run away, then run. I won't let you go. I won't let you. Yeah, look at this fucking tantrum. Won't let you, won't let you. Ugh. He is gross. Gross man. You belong to me. Must always be in my arms. Yeah, this guy's old. He should know better. I mean, I guess he's kind of, you know, going a little crazy, but I don't know. At least Battler, it's like, he's young. He's just stupid because he's young. For all my life, must stay in my birdcage for all eternity, whispering only to me. Oh. You think you can contain a witch? Yeah, at least Battler expected to be slapped. Like, he shouldn't have done that shit, but... Beatrice. Beatrice. I'm not gonna call it Beatrice. I'm not gonna call it that. Why won't you smile back at me? Oh. After howling, Kinzo choked once again. Genji set the train glass down and rubbed his master's back. Genji's facial expression did not change. It was always like this. Yeah, he seems to. Thank you, my friend. When his seemingly deranged fit subsided, Kinzo regained his composure once again. It was like seeing two different people, a wild Kinzo and a composed Kinzo, living together inside one body. And so, I have decided I cannot bear to spend my dimmed remaining years procrastinating like this. If I have one final coin to bet, I choose to abandon it to the whims of the demon's roulette. The power of magic is always determined by the risk of the gamble. Like visiting a shrine at the hour of the ox in an ancient Japanese sorcery, to nail a cursed doll to a tree. Magical power is produced specifically because of the risk that it will be seen within the 7 days the curse takes. The greater the risk, the stronger the magic power will be. Is there really any risk though anymore? You're gonna die. Like, what do you have left to risk? And you already said your soul's gonna get taken by Beatrice. Like, you ain't taking your riches to your grave. You get your skeleton's gonna. Yeah, I know. He's cryptic. Oh, but now he's cryptic. Many miracles that happened in myth might be called the crystallization of shocking magic power, with a low probability of occurrence and astronomical risk. That Moses parted the waters of the sea was not a miracle of God. The risk of that desperate situation, cornered by soldiers on the Red Sea's shores, weighed upon the scales of slaughter and gave birth to that miraculous magic power. The same thing occurred again on the same scale. The sea would surely fail to part. After all, Moses was able to magnificently summon a miracle engraved on one of those countless, innumerable results in the roulette of those with power. It is the force that can triumph over astronomical odds. Indeed, good fortune that can grasp miracles is magical power itself. This man's just a coward that doesn't want to die. He doesn't want to think he can lose to death. He thinks he's so important. He's so special. He's not gonna die. I'm a big, important man that can triumph over astronomical odds. No, you can't. You're a human, like everyone else. You dome, dude? To obtain this mighty power, we must face the risk of despair. Not dome, okay. Those who possess no magical power, they call that desperation rather than a bet. However, people who truly do possess magic power can grasp hold of that miracle and make the enigma come into being. Kinzo Dome. If that power exists within me, seize that miracle. The chance of making the wish I devoted my life towards come true. Maybe pathetic isn't the right word. Tragic is maybe the word I'm looking for. He is a tragic hero. Maybe not a hero, but he's tragic. He's continuing down this doomed path, no matter what the cost. Including ignoring his entire family. Saying fuck them and... continuing on this path that we know will not work out. It will lead to failure, but he does not care. Kinzo looked up to the sky outside the window. He spread his arms as if appealing to someone up in the skies. Only I were capable of grasping that miracle. Oh, Beatrice! Show me your lovely smile once more. So did he meet a witch and he traded something for... Yep, here we go again. Yeah. No matter how much time passes, your face does not vanish. Just want to see your smile, that is all. Return everything you granted me. Return all the glory I've gained since that day. Don't need fortune, prestige, or gold. Return everything you gave me. You think those are permanent? You're gonna return them whether you like it or not, bud. When you die, all those things are gonna go away. You will fade to history. You will be forgotten. It might take longer for you, but you will be forgotten. Everyone is. You think fame and fortune are permanent? You fool. You can't take those into the afterlife. Just want to see your smile. Yeah, Beatrice is like, dude, this is kind of cringe. Bro, like, let go. It was a one-night thing. Come on now, man. Literally, he's thrown his entire life behind a one-night fling. Yeah. Yeah. I beg you, Beatrice. His nonsensical yells became a scream, and then a wail. I mean, it is pretty obvious he is very emotionally invested in this, so it is kind of sad to see, but... Kinzo slumped to the floor, tearing at it with both hands. Genji had no choice but to wordlessly watch over his master's lamentations. Worse than Battler! Worse than Battler! Worse than Battler! Well, ladies and gentlemen, the family head's health is not at its best. That's an understatement. He seemed extremely sad not to be able to share lunch with you all, now that you've gathered for this event that occurs once but a year. No, he didn't give a shit. Goda, let the lunch begin. Certainly, I shall begin today's luncheon. I don't like you anymore. You're mean. I don't like you. Butt chin. I have a butt chin too. But I don't like him anymore. Dr. Nanjo, is father's condition really that bad? Couldn't he have at least let us see his face? It's more a problem of mood than a physical condition. And for that, there is no medicine I can prescribe. Yeah. You know what? I bet if he just smoked some weed, he'd be fine. You know? Just get real chill. We're talking about his mood again. You gotta be kidding me. We took time out of our schedules during this damn busy autumn season just to come and find out how he's doing. Now he's... And you should be happy. You now know how he's doing. Or what? Would you rather take my place and try to persuade our ill-humored father to come join us? Are you kidding? Kinzo, Battler would have a terrible trip. Battler would fucking... He'd be crying on the toilet or something. He'd he'd run out into the street naked or something. He'd do some stupid shit. Kinzo would probably like finally spill all this shit he's been holding in. Weird shit that he's talking about. You kidding? Rudolph shrugged. Apparently, though, Rudolph was willing to be indignant at how self-centered his father was. He wasn't particularly disappointed in to be spared a face-to-face meeting. Does it seem like his mood will improve before dinner? Kraus-Nissan?
そんなこ
I
と
have
は
no
知らん
idea.
よ。親父殿に
If you
直
want
接
to know
聞い
that,
て
you
み
should
る。
ask him directly.
もっとも
Although I think his
声を
mood
か
will
けない
improve
方が
faster
機
if
嫌
we
の
don't
治りは
bother
早い
him.
と思う。
源氏さんだけだよ。
Genji-san's the only one who can get near grandfather out of who can get grandfather out of the funk.
情けないぜ。
It's pretty pathetic, though,
自
making
分
the
の親
servants
の
deal
機
with
嫌
your
を
own
使用
parents'
人に
bad
直させる
mood.
んだからよ。
Damn, get their ass, Jessica.
ジェシカ、
Jessica.
余計なことは
Don't
言わな
speak
く
out
ていい
of。turn. She'd planned for her complaint to be only heard by her cousins, but it had reached even Krause's ears. Scolded, Jessica scowled and turned away, sulking.
機嫌がうんぬん
If he's as cranky as they make him sound, he can't be that
病状はそん
terribly
な悪
sick,
くないん
right?
じゃねえの元気がないって
I
ん
mean,
な
they're
ら
saying he's in
ともか
bad mood, not that he's got
く
no
機嫌
energy,
が悪いっ
which
て
at
の
least
は
proves he's got his
少なく
wits
とも
about
気
him.
はしっかりしてる証拠だぜ。
おじい様は
It's because
特に
grandfather
強
has
い気
especially
力をお
strong
持ちだから
willpower.
ね。
However, that doesn't necessarily mean his body will be able to keep up.
去年からずっと
Since last year, they keep saying
余命
he's 3
3ヶ
months
月っ
left.
て言われ最初の診
If
断
the
が
initial
正しいなら
diagnosis was correct,
おじい
grandfather's
様
been
は
prolonging
気
his
力だ
life
け
by
で流
willpower
れてる
alone.
ってことになる。気遣ってあげないといけないよ。
Stubborn old man won't die. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Lunch started with the family head seat still empty. Oh dear. Family dinner. I'm sure this will have plenty of drama. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's crying about freaking the boat thing again. Yeah. Or he's like holding the wilted rose, like crying about it or something. The man who should be sitting there had already grown old. The brilliant glory which had rebuilt the Ushiroma family in the span of a single lifetime was being forgotten. Even though they were beginning to the meal with that seat still empty, no one felt that it was odd anymore. Stop that. Oh, are we just skipping over the meal? Huh, I was expecting some like shade or something to happen, but no, we went like through a oh yeah, or he'll just stare. The Ushiromiya Family Conference was held once every year on the first weekend of October. If a normal family were to hold a so-called family conference, you'd expect there to be nothing more than a reunion of rarely seen relatives who'd greet each other around buckets of sushi or something. However, part of the family's great fortune had been lent out to grandfather's children, and no one in this family was considered an adult until they had met with success in business. So this meeting was literally a conference. Ugh. Gross. How much of the fortune was invested? What sort of business was conducted? How much profit was earned? As a result, how much of the fortune borrowed from the main family could be repaid? Possibly, how much more will be borrowed for future business ventures? What lessons had they learned, and what could they learn from their mistakes? It seems that topics like these were discussed very seriously in the past. My dad said it was like lying on a bed of nails. Apparently, it used to be a very serious family meeting. People were bathed in scornful and angry voices, and some people even got slapped despite their age. However, that had become a thing of the past. Now, with everyone pursuing their own business ventures and achieving success, It was becoming more of a normal yearly get-together. Even so, telling grandfather about recent events was extremely stressful. So while it was nothing more than a simple get-together for us grandchildren, it was still a real stomachache for our parents. The absence of the man who was the source of all this trouble, regardless of the reason, probably made today's lunch taste much more delicious. You know what? Honestly, they're happy. I don't blame them. I don't blame them being happy for that granddad not coming down. What an obnoxious father. Ugh. The phrase, "while the demon is not around, everyone can relax," comes to mind. Anyway, let's introduce Jessica's father, whose face I haven't seen for 6 years. The man sitting to my father's left is his older brother and Jessica's father, Uncle Kraus. This name sure is easy to read. Kraus. Now we've gotten used to this string of weird names, our perspective is totally screwed. So Kraus doesn't actually seem that bad. He even starts to sound kinda cool. Just like without Natsuhi, I didn't have many memories of speaking with Uncle Kraus. He had never been one to chat with children, and I felt like he was always talking with the adults, just like Aunt Natsuhi. According to my father's gossip, he was a spiteful and violent man. If what he said was true, Uncle Kraus used to be very domineering from his position as the oldest sibling, and he was despised by all the other siblings. Though, despite that, those siblings all seem to be chatting rather happily together. Oh well, even if their relationship was bad when they were children, sometimes when people grow up and live apart from each other, the relationships change. No, they're just good at hiding it now. That's probably what this was. I don't trust that. I don't trust that for a minute. These adults are all at each other's throats. They hate each other. And I do not doubt for a second that that has stopped. After all, they each had children of about the same age. No, they are... there is a power struggle going on. By sharing the same family environment, they probably profited by exchanging opinions. And because of that, a short while ago, the circle of parents began to discuss the exams Jessica and I would be taking. Or maybe I'm being cynical. Jessica, in order to escape questions about exams from my father on her left, purposefully faced right while firing off a rapid series of comments, not giving him any chance to get a word in. Moving on, let's look at the end opposite from Kraus and the others. In the very last seat at the table, an old gentleman with a sturdy physique sat facing Kyrie-san. This was my first time meeting him. Wait. He took the seat that, was gonna be taken by... Hold on. Does this imply something? Oh, that's everyone. He took the seat that was going to be, Rosa's husband's seat, I think. Or maybe not. No, because it's across... Well, maybe. I don't... No, because it's across from, Kyrie. So, no. I'm overthinking it. Well, we've just been introduced to him, but he seems his grandfather's personal doctor, a man named Nanjo. I heard he used to own a huge clinic on the nearby island of Nijima, but he turned it over to his son and began living a life of leisure in his old age. He had known grandfather since the very beginning, when the mansion was first constructed on this island, and had built up a relationship over several decades. I thought at first the two of them might have gotten to know each other through grandfather's suspicious hobbies, but it seems he was actually grandfather's chess partner. I see. Kind of hobby does seem very like our grandfather, but with his love of all things Western. Look at this fucking weeaboo for American shit. I still don't know what that would be called, but... Nanjo's probably the only person who could enter Rokonjima despite being neither a family member nor a servant. Looks like a calm old gentleman as he listened to the discussion between Kyrie and the other woman who sat near to him. Considering how long he stayed by the side of our short-tempered grandfather, his generous heart was probably nothing to laugh at. Still, even if he was a family doctor, having anyone outside the Ushiromiya family attend a family conference was a little odd. Made me think that grandfather's condition might have worsened so much it'd be a major topic of discussion at today's conference. After all, George said something like that just a second ago. Something about how we've been getting continuous reports since around last year that grandfather didn't have long to live. It's nasty to think about it, but consider how rich grandfather is. At the time of his death, his wealth will suddenly be released, probably along with a fair share of our parents' stomach acid. It'll lead to ulcers for everyone. After all, this sort of thing just gets messier when there's more wealth to be divided. There's a good chance they'll be talking about stuff like that at the family conference.
Yeah.
Still, it's not like it's got anything to do with us kids. Finally, even though he hasn't shown up, let me introduce our grandfather. He's an asshole. Person who should be sitting in that incipient's chair is Ushiroma Kinzo. Really sucks. Everyone else in the family has these weird names, but he's got this perfectly normal one himself. If only his name was written Kinzo, but he let us call him Goldsmith or something. I'd totally freak out. As you can probably guess by now, he's a frightening person with an extremely short temper. I'm one of his grandchildren, not a son, and I haven't seen him since elementary school. Thanks to that, I have no memory of being beaten myself, but our parents were apparently raised with an iron fist. In an earlier conversation with my dad and Uncle Kraus about who should go convince grandfather to come down, seems pretty darn funny once you know their background. Can't really tell grandfather's story without covering that pivotal event back before the Showa era, 1926 to 1989. Till the Meiji, 1868 to 1912, and Taisho, 1912 to 1926, eras, the Ushiromiya family was great and prosperous. They owned several spinning mills, making them rich enough to just double over laughing every day as money kept rolling in. Incidentally, grandfather was a member of the branch family and had pretty much nothing to do with the main family. Not only was he way down on the list of people who could inherit the headship, but he had hardly any contact with the glamorous main family. However, during the Great Kanto earthquake of the year Taisho 12, mansion owned by the Ushiromiya family in Odawara was flattened. Interesting. Spinning mills in Tokyo were all burned down in a huge fire, and the Ushiromiya family lost most of its wealth and family members in an instant. So once they started trying to figure out who the successor to the Ushiromiya family should be, they apparently found no one remaining except Kinzo and his branch family. Interesting. In Kinzo's later reminiscences, he referred to this as good fortune so great that it overturned fate. Wow. They really hated their guts, huh? With that, grandfather's boring, everyday life did a 180. He was entrusted with reviving the dying Ushiromiya family, which had lost nearly all of its wealth. However, just because he'd been entrusted with this task didn't mean he could accomplish it. Apparently those around him weren't really expecting much. However, this is when grandfather began displaying his extraordinary talent and good luck. Grandfather used all the remaining wealth, as well as everything from the hair on his head to his toenails, as collateral in order to borrow a massive amount of money. Once he built up a gigantic war chest, he immediately invested in businesses. It's like someone tumbling down a hill on a bike without any brakes. And then jumping onto a neighboring bike, and then another one. Just like some crazy street performance. I'll bet everyone thought grandfather had no business ability whatsoever. However, after several miracles and turns of good luck, with coincidences piling up at every chance taken advantage of, he doesn't get to say shit! He didn't do jack shit! He got fucking lucky! Because he did something with a witch or whatever. He doesn't get to talk shit at all! He didn't do it on his own merits! He didn't do jack shit! Everything is the witch! He didn't do diddly squat. What a jackass! I mean, to be fair, it's like a lot of self-made men. Like, Elon Musk. Oh, I'm sure, his claim to fame didn't have anything to do with his father being an emerald mine owner. Nothing at all. Or Bill Gates got a... You know, what was it? I think he got like, his family was on... His, like, dad was on, like, a board of directors and, like, referred him to someone or something. It's just... The only self-made men are trans men. Not these assholes. He was suddenly in control of powerful connections with the occupying forces. That time, MacArthur and the GHQ were the ultimate authority in Japan. Grandfather, in a twinkle of an eye, had begun succeeding in business under the protection of the occupying forces, quickly becoming very rich. By this point, it's probably safe to say that information, not luck, saved the day. He must have made some seriously deep connections with the occupying forces. Grandfather knew beforehand about the emergency demands that would be made for the Korean War. No, it was more than that. Yeah. He must have predicted those emergency demands from the very beginning when he started investing his money. History books make it sound like all of Japan made a large profit off the emergency demands during the Korean War. That isn't actually true. Only a very limited number of the super rich played the money game and made an easy profit. Most of the citizens remained poor. In other words, Grandfather was a member of this extremely lucky group of winners. Pretty sure this all happened during the year Showa 25, 1950 or so. Great Kanto earthquake happened in Taisho 13, so... His grandfather was able to revive the near-dead Ushiromiya family in only about 20 years to a level even higher than it had ever been before. With that, you'd think he'd revive the main family in Odawara. For some reason, he went and did something as crazy as buying an entire small island in the Izu archipelago. Buying an entire island is not something you can ordinarily do today. However, Grandfather was clever. Contacted the GHQ and applied for the establishment of a marine resource base. Acquired this island as a business property, then tossed that project aside and claimed it as his own plot of land. After the war, there were prevention measures against food shortages, and having the sponsorship of the GHQ meant that nobody could oppose him. From what I've heard, the Tokyo metropolis of that day offered this land to him practically for free. Later, Tokyo made difficulties by telling Kinzo to return the land, but the pushy GHQ intervened. Anyway, it seems under-the-table bribes did their work well. In the end, the city gave up in frustration. Grandfather, with considerable skill and good luck, managed to weather the stormy seas of that period, obtaining a vast fortune in his own island. Of course, it probably wasn't all luck. He was obsessed with all things Western, which helped him cultivate his English skills. He was able to use this to his advantage and sink his teeth into the GHQ. I almost called them the GDQ. Frickin' game's done quick. Mansion was built on the island soon after. This mansion, in fact. Grandfather, with his love of the Western style, made this once uninhabited land a canvas upon which he could realize his dreams to his heart's content. He now had the Western mansion of his dreams, overflowing with emotion and atmosphere, and a beautiful garden featuring all sorts of roses. And he was still a crotchety old man who was a dick to everyone. And he had a private beach where nobody other than himself would even ever be permitted to leave a footprint. This would be a dream come true for any boy. After that, he made good use of his huge fortune, becoming a large stockholder in the extremely stable iron and steel industry, and was able to live an easy and comfortable life using the dividends. Well, he's just that incredible. This kind of person usually has the ability to foresee and predict the future. At least that is how they are portrayed as after the fact. Grandfather denies all that, repeatedly saying he was simply blessed with extraordinary luck. Anyway, even a lord like that can't help but grow increasingly eccentric when locked up alone on an island where all his dreams are made real. Everyone knows that he's had a Western obsession from the start. None of our parents really know when his bizarre black magic hobby began. Did his love of black magic begin way back when he became fascinated with everything Western? Why did he call... He called Maria weird or something, but he's the weird fucking one. I feel like he and Maria would get along, because Maria likes black magic too, like... He's just unnecessarily rude to everyone. Did his love of black magic begin way back when he became fascinated with everything Western, or did his miraculous stretch of good luck while reviving his family cause him to feel a mysterious power in himself? At some point, grandfather began to make the research of black magic his life's work. Filled his study with suspicious books, chemicals, and magical items as he became increasingly bizarre. From what I've heard, those around him warmly watched over him, figuring that someone who had achieved success in life had a right to do as he pleased, but there's no way that's true. They were probably just creeped out, thinking, that's disgusting, I don't want to get involved. Anyway, that agitated period of life was an age of big gambles with both opportunities and risks. Let's say grandfather was born in this time period. He would have had no opportunities and would probably have advanced like a chess piece from mandatory education to college at a leisurely pace, never becoming more than an average salaryman. If that happened, he'd probably have sat somewhere happily talking behind his boss's back. No, not at a fancy dining hall like this, more like at a table in some bar. And again, I'll bet this family conference would be a whole lot more relaxing if that were the case. Okay, that's enough about the old geezer. Yeah, he's kind of a dickhead. It was just been announced he has a few months to live. He's brimming with energy. Though he amassed a vast fortune in the past, he never made any announcements regarding the inheritance, which worries his children. Strongly influenced by the West, and is a rabid fan of the occult. His study is packed with mysterious grimoires. Enough about the old geezer. More importantly, let's talk about this incredible lunch. I'm already convinced that by that sashimi salad appetizer, Oda-san's an excellent chef. Plus, these fish were caught in the adjacent seas, weren't they? Totally different from the sashimi you'd get at the supermarket. Boy, quit it, Battler. Battler, your upbringing will be exposed. Everyone let out a big laugh. Damn it, you say that even though you love those cheap pubs. I've eaten at many unusual places because of work, but this stands right up there with the best of them. I'd be willing to bet Goda-san used to be pretty well known in those circles. Well, I don't know the details, but stuff got complicated at the long-standing hotel he used to work at, with them opening a new establishment with the same name and breaking into factions or whatever it was. In the middle of that, he was apparently forced to retire. Whoa. At that time, Mom just happened to be sending out job offers for a servant. As Go to remove the empty plates, he began to recount his own bumpy past without losing his smile. The world is a difficult place. However, thanks to Madame, I was given a chance to display my skills as a chef once more. This time for the Ushiromiya family. The world's a difficult place, so you're gonna make it worse for those kids that work under you? Or technically above you, but really, come on now. Though I enjoy experiencing the smiles of a larger number of people, I also find it quite entertaining to perform more delicate work that can please the limited number of those who have employed me. All this is thanks to the opportunity given to me by the Madame. Goda-san respectfully bowed his head toward Aunt Natsuhi. Oh, she's got a headache. That's because they're the most talented of the applicants. The decision was purely objective, based on personal feelings, so there's no need to thank me. Dang, why does Aunt Natsuhi have to always sound so indifferent? If only she spoke with a bit more kindness, she might leave a different impression. Shannon-chan and Kumasawa-chan entered from the hallway with a serving cart. Please excuse us. Now then, let us move on to today's dessert. Goda-san and the others laid the beautifully adorned dessert out in front of us all. Guess it's true when they say you have another stomach for dessert. Thought I'd already filled up on delicious food. As soon as I laid eyes on that dessert, my stomach started yelling more. Don't know much about desserts, but this looked really good. A white pudding-like substance was garnished with 2 shades of red sauce. And elegant rose petals adorned the dish. Normally during a high-class meal like this, you're supposed to wait for the chef to extol the virtues of this particular meal before eating. However, Maria was completely indifferent to strict rules like this, so she got excited by this beautiful and delicious-looking dessert, jumping into the fray as soon as it was placed before her. Aunt Rosa scolded her, calling it bad manners, but George responded by saying, No, it's okay. That's refreshing, honestly. Ooh. This part's sour. This part's sour. Batola, this one's no good. Ooh. Maria exclaimed as she sampled the two colored sauces. What? Some of these are good and some bad? Okay, I'll give it a go. Apparently one sauce was sweet and the other sour. Despite it being bad manners, I also stuck my little finger in and licked it. You caveman. Whoa, one of the sauces was sour enough to make you pucker up. For yellow, I would have suspected lemon, but I couldn't guess what kind of sourness would be red. It's poison! I decided to ask Shannon, who was putting away the serving cart behind us.
Shannon-chan,
what kind of sauce is this sour stuff? Oh, she doesn't know. Shannon-chan hesitated. Maybe your job was just to set the table, so she doesn't really know. Still, even considering that, she seems pretty stressed. Maybe I shouldn't have asked. Did they use some ingredient we'd be better off not knowing about? While Aunt Natsuhi made a gesture that seemed to indicate an oncoming headache, Kumasawa-san, who was setting the table at the opposite seat, began to chuckle. What do you think we made it out of? It'll shock you.
What?
Huh? I don't have a clue. Wait a second. Kumazawa-ba-san, that laugh's pretty creepy. So what is it? Don't tell anyone, okay? Listen very carefully. Kumasawa-san leaned across from the other side of the table. I leaned forward myself when she asked. Their interest caught Jessica, George, Aniki, and of course Maria also put their ears closer. Oh, she's definitely she's definitely gonna lie about it. Ooh, what? What? Quickly! Quickly! You see, the sour part is made from juice squeezed from a mackerel. Eh? Mackerel? That's crazy, we all thought, horrified. Only Maria accepted it, nodding sagely. Ooh? Mackerels are sour. This is what comes out when you squeeze them. Okay, sure. When Maria started clamoring that mackerels were sour, the adults were unable to contain their laughter. Only Aunt Rosa, her face red, whispered to Maria that mackerel is sour only once prepared as shime-saba. Ah, now I totally remember. Kumasawa-san was always like this, wasn't she? I think I remember her tricking me too in all sorts of ways when I was young. Most lethal has gotta be that one. Those flimsy black things in the Chinese dishes. They're kikurage mushrooms. She told me they were penguin meat, and I went around school like a smartass telling everyone, didn't I? Kumasawa-ba-chan, you sure haven't changed. You know Maria's gonna believe it now, right? It's just a joke. Now Goda-san's going to tell us what the sauce really is, won't he? Goda looked a little put off about his masterpiece being laughed at for such a bizarre reason. But after clearing his throat once, he introduced the dessert to us. Come on, lighten up, man. Well then, allow me to introduce our dessert. After seeing how much you enjoyed the Rose Garden dinner, I finished this panna cotta in a Rose Garden style. The rose petals scattered across were selected just now from that very rose garden.
ソースは
The sauce is a combination of two reds, strawberry and rose
を用意
hips.
しました。ストロベリーの
Please
甘みと
enjoy this mixture of the
ローズヒップ
strawberry
の酸味を
sweetness and the
交互に
rose
お
hip
楽しみになってく
sourness.
ださい。なお花びらは
Furthermore, the
観
rose
賞用
petals
と
are
なっており
merely
ますので
decorative,
よ
so
けて
please
からお召し
avoid
上がり
them
く
while
だ
you
さいま
eat.
せ。
I bet Maria accidentally ate some of them.
それではどう
With
ぞ
that said, please
お楽しみ
enjoy.
ください。
Whoa, man, I almost want to applaud before eating. Just like with medicine, reading the detailed description first seems to make it work a whole lot better. As Goto-san elaborated on the details of the dessert, it started to feel even more appetizing. Seriously, should you call him subtle or just talented? The dessert was probably planned from the beginning, but taking the hint when we all stopped in front of the rose garden earlier today, displayed an incredible and timely awareness by adding just a few rose petals from that garden. The combination of sweet and sour was also exquisite. If it was just sweet, you'd get used to it and bored halfway through. If you reach the sour sauce at that point, you get a really vivid taste. And once you return the sweet sauce, all the sourness in your mouth would be replaced with an enjoyable sweetness. I'm sure everyone else felt the same way. Every time Goto-san passed by one of our seats, someone praised the taste in his presentation.
いかがですか、奥様。
How is it, madame?
相変わらず見事です。
Splendid as always.
お客様をおも
It
て
is
なしする
worthy
に
of entertaining
値
our
します。
guests.
恐れ入ります。
I am most grateful for your words.
奥様、
Madame,
ご
did
存
you
知で
know?
すか、ローズヒップには
I've heard that
頭
rose
痛
hip
に
has the
効く
ability
効
to
果
cure
もあるそうですよ。
headaches. I thought that you in particular would appreciate it, so I had specially prepared. No, you just want favor from her. We know already, you duplicitous bastard. You don't care about anything but getting favor from those you serve. Which includes the other servants. You don't give a shit about them. Is that so?
ありがとう。
Thank you. It was not done out of
ほら
a
言ったでしょ、夏日姉さん。
genuine kindness like Rosa did. See, didn't I tell you Natsuhi Nei-san?
ローズヒップは頭
Rose
痛に
hip is
効く
great for
って
headaches.
みたいね。
So it seems.
聞くといいんだけど
I。do hope it actually helps. Ah,
ゴーダさん
Goda-san, I love ya.
な
Hey, later on, why don't you tell me how they're treating you?
無理なら
Well, if you can, just tell me what.
指立てて
Let me know what sort of salary you'd like.
あんたの腕が
And then your talent can find this small island is sacrilege to humanity's cooking culture.
その腕
What do you think about working your craft for my company and delighting all our
喜ばせてみる
customers?
気はないかの
Hideyoshi-san,
うちのゴーダを
are you trying to
引き
steal
抜かれ
away
る
our Goda?
これは困る
Now that won't do it all.
ゴーダの待遇
We'd
を
better start treating
良くしない
Goda
と
better or
引き抜か
he'll
れ
get
てしまい
snatched up.
そう
Yes, you really should.
じゃないと引き
If you
抜かれ
don't,
て
someone's gonna grab him and you'll be stuck with 3 meals of Kumasawa-style mackerel cooking a day, won't you? Oh, that's harsh. It seems someone's holding a grudge against me. I'm imagining that the grandpa's gonna come down and ruin the mood at some point. Everyone let out a huge laugh. According to Jessica, Kumasawa-san's mackerel jokes were a running gag that her parents had long since gotten used to. Kumasawa-san often claimed that mackerels had a precious nutritional value which could slow aging, make people smarter and more. Supposedly, while it couldn't stop the outward signs of aging, it helped prevent aging on the inside. Since she was still spirited enough to tell these kinds of jokes at her age, there must be something to that theory. In that case, if you'll excuse me, prepare yourself for tonight's dinner. I'll be cooking plenty of mackerel dishes for you all, so you'd better look forward to it. I like the old lady. She just wants to start shit. It's great. We sure will. Can't wait to get all puckered up from tonight's shimesaba.
それは素敵ね
That sounds wonderful.
ついでに日
I
本酒
wonder
が
if
美
they'll be
味しいの
serving any
出て
good
こないか
Japanese
しら
sake. Oh, we certainly will. Haven't you heard of Rokenjima's famous mackerel shochu? More mackerel. Kumasawa-san, together with Shannon-chan, bowed and pushed the serving cart away. It's pretty funny to watch Goda-san, who looked like his show had been totally stolen, explain in a serious voice that we would be having calf steak for dinner. Lighten up, man. Have a sense of humor. Kumasawa-san, thanks for doing that back there. As she pushed the serving cart, Shannon bowed her head very deeply. Oh, I haven't done anything that requires thanks. So I may have played dumb, she had obviously understood and saved Shannon in the nick of time. Back when Battle had asked about dessert, Shannon had unfortunately hesitated. There may have been several ways to dodge the question, but all of them would have required some quick wits. Shannon, who hesitated when hard-pressed for a weak response, was always suffering because of this small weakness. If only Shannon had a little of the craftiness needed to cleverly shake off a mistake. Like Goda, her life would have been a bit easier. The fact that she could perform other tasks flawlessly made this weakness even more unfortunate. However, there were some who understood Shannon's honest nature, her inability to gloss over a mistake and draw attention away from it. That was why Kumasawa had smoothly come to her rescue. Yeah. It's just great. Battler's like, and anyway, mackerel. Battler like is, he's an idiot, but I feel like he's surprisingly like emotionally intelligent at some points. Like he's like, oh, I know what Kanan's going through, I'm gonna help him out. And like he kind of knows when he's like fucked up and like he's like, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that, I gotta like change the subject or something. Like he's not entirely a dumbass, but he just lacks a lot of common sense. Like I don't know, it's a weird thing. Like I could see him like being smart, but like it's definitely not in a book smart way, and it's definitely not in a common sense way. I just heard from Genji-san there will be a change in the afternoon shifts. I believe you were given a break until this evening. Oh, I'm jealous. Huh? Oh, sorry, I haven't checked the shift chart yet. Yes. I was thinking I might start cooking some mackerel in the oven. If you don't mind, I would be happy if you would help out a bit before your break. Yes. I would be delighted to help. To Shannon, Kumasawa-san was like a mother among the servants. Oh. The dining hall needed to be cleaned up, so we were chased out. Instead, tea was being served in the parlor. Apparently, they'd prepared the black tea that Aunt Rosa had bought for Aunt Natsuhi. Maria said she also wanted to have some black tea, but my old bastard said she couldn't and told us children to go play outside. Battle-kun, why don't we all go for a walk outside? Go ahead and take a look at the roses or something. Keep a close eye on the weather. The sky's still clear, but the weather report kept talking on about rain. I want to go to the beach, Beach, I have to get away. Oh, that sounds wonderful. Playing on a sandy beach isn't something you get to do often, is it? Ah, good point. Okay, let's all go to the beach then. Swimsuits? Ooh, let's go. Battler, please behave yourself. Please. Maria, be careful not to get your clothes wet.
靴もよ。
Or your shoes. Okay, never mind. Is the beach upset already? I know, right? Damn it. Ooh. Won't get wet.
素
That
直で可愛い。
obedience is so cute.
バトラ君。
Batala-kun,
マ
make
リ
sure
ア
you
ちゃん
keep an
の
eye
面
out
倒
for
ちゃん
Maria-chan,
と見てあ
okay?
げてね。
おや
Sure, leave it to me.
あ
Hey, you're
あ
pretty
お前も
obedient and cute yourself listening to Kyrie like that. He ain't gonna listen to you, though.
たまには俺の
Why don't you also listen to me obediently for a change? Ha!
まっぴらご
Hell
飯だ
no.
ぜ行こうぜみんな
Let's go, everyone, come on! The children flew out of the parlor. They were replaced by Genji, who pushed a serving cart in and prepared to serve the tea. Spill the tea, sis. The parlor was filled with a sublime aroma which delighted everyone while they waited to sate their thirst. Oh, we're staying in here.
ルドルフのところは
Rudolph's
家族
family
仲がいいじゃん
certainly seems close.
良いことだ
It's a wonderful thing.
よせよ
Quit it. We're no match for your family, Aniki. How do I differentiate their voices?
そうよ。
That's true.
ジェシカちゃん。
You've raised Jessica-chan to be so adorable.
じゃない。これも
I imagine that's yet another fruit of your
教育の
talents at
賜
education and training, Natsuhine-san. Oh, are they gonna start complimenting each other's kids? That would be kind of cute, actually. But I feel like it's not gonna be that cute. I feel like there's gonna be something.
どうも。
Thank you. Natsui answered coldly. I wonder why she has headaches all the time. That's very odd. Conversation broke off then, and the parlor fell silent. Oops. Maybe Hideyoshi couldn't bear the silence because he broke it himself with an exaggerated gesture.
しかし
Still, they sure do grow
成長は早い
fast.
いつまでも子供だと思っとった
Thought
が
they'd be kids forever, but they start getting huge all of a sudden, and they're adults like us.
バトラ君なんか
Batala-kun looks like a completely different person now.
体は大きく
His
なり
body
ま
has
したけど
grown much bigger, but
ま
he's
だ
still
子供
just a
です
kid. This is true.
うちの主人も
Though you could say the same about my
未だに子供ですけれど。
husband. I wonder where the
子供
border
と大
between
人
child
の
and
境
adult
ってど
is.
こなのか私
I still don't feel as though
未
I've
だに
grown
大
up.
人になったって自覚が持てない
Isn't
情
that
けないじゃ
pitiful?
ないか一時の
That's
母の
not something the
言う
mother of a
ことだ
child should say.
そうね。
That's right.
私たちもも
We're
う
not
子供
children
じゃない
anymore.
大人同士
We're all adults now.
だから感情的
So I wish
に
we
な
could
ら
talk
ず
together on an
知的な
intellectual
会話を
level
したいわ
rather than an
ね。
emotional one. When Eva smiled with sharp sarcasm, everyone seemed to get more tense. Stop stirring up shit. Can't you just be nice for once, goddammit? It felt as though the pleasant tea aroma had been tossed out the window. Oh dear.
知的な会話なら
Since
昔から
long
いつも
ago, we've
心が
always
けているじゃ
endeavored
ん
to engage in intellectual conversations.
お前の嫌味は時に
It
的
seems
を
your
外してい
sarcasm
る
occasionally misses its mark,
昔から変わ
just
る
as it always has.
昔から
Oh,
いつも
what's this you
ですって
always endeavored to do?
あら、
My,
その言葉を
my,
き
I
れい
wish I could wrap
に
those
放送
words
し
up and
て
send them to
何
this
十
room
年
a
か
few
前のこ
decades
の部屋に
ago.
届けてあげたいわね。
Right, Rosa. I feel like she's a bit tougher than she first seems. Rosa's got some steel in her, I think. First she seemed nice, but she gets feisty. Rosa gave a vague smile. She knew that, whether she agreed or disagreed, she'd earned the displeasure of one of her siblings. It was a bit of worldly wisdom that had been essential for someone growing up as the youngest sibling.
よせよ姉貴
Quit it, Aniki.
ガキどもがいない間
We
に
better get started on our main topic while the brats aren't around. Oh, talking about inheritance, I'm assuming.
それこそ
Let
知
us
的
make
な
that our
話
intellectual discussion. As Rudolph glanced over the faces of all present, some let out a slight sigh, and some let a small look of resignation cross their face. They were approaching their unavoidable, true agenda. Agenda? I hardly know her! Yeah. No, Battler will fucking die when I beat his head in with a bat. Last year, his life expectancy was estimated at about 3 months. Which I guess means he's got negative 9 months left now. Shouldn't we take that to mean it might suddenly happen at any time? The family head is still alive and well. The fact that you bring up such an inappropriate topic under the light of day makes me doubt your sanity, Rudolph-san. Still, Natsui-san. This is the sort of thing you can't put off until after something happens. He's still healthy now, which makes this the perfect time to talk about this, but we still got time to plan. It's just a bit of financial etiquette, you might say. Seems father is the focus of everyone's concern. Dr. Nanjo, could we hear the details from you? Why do Kraus and frickin' Rudolph have such similar voices? I can't find a differentiating thing for them. Appears to be what everyone else is waiting for, after all. I've tried to make Kraus's voice a little less deep, but it's difficult. Nanjo, who had been standing by the window and staring out at the rose garden, let out a single cough when he realized that he was being called.
Nanjo-sensei.
Dr. Nanjo. How is father's condition? Well, to begin, allow me to start with a revision, since my estimate last year that he'd only 3 months left was not borne out. No need to explain. You're saying that measuring remaining life is only prediction, not a promise, right? That is correct. Because of that, while I accept everyone's repeated questions, I can by no means confirm when you will pass away. A human's life is supported by their body and their mind. If the body is weak, the situation becomes more dangerous, but the mind is strong enough to compensate for that weakness. The effect of one's condition can sometimes remain in a subdued state. So you're saying that even if his body is weak, his mind's still firm and spirited. Kirie, sorry, but please... Whoa, shit! Dude. Rude. Please stay quiet for a bit. I'm sorry. That is correct. Kinzo-san's body is being overwhelmed by the demon of ill health. This will hold especially true as long as he continues to partake of such strong alcohol. He's in a crisis now because he drinks. And maybe he's lived this long because he drinks. There's Dad for you, the heavy drinker. Yeah, I don't think he's sane. He's... Well then, Doctor, I know you can't give anything more than a prediction. But what do you think about Father's chances of living until this day next year? That's quite a rude question to ask about the family head. Natsui jumped on Eva, not even bothering to hide her astonished expression. Eva stared back daringly, but Hideyoshi realized what was going on and tried to smooth things over with a forced smile. Natsui-san, forgive her. Eva, choose your words a bit more carefully, okay? I'm sorry. I was just so concerned about Father's condition. Yeah, right. Is that so? I hadn't realized. Yeah, you hadn't realized because that was a fucking lie. That was a big-ass lie. Dr. Nanjo, please tell us, for the sake of the beautiful love of a daughter who worried about her father's lifespan. That's your best lie? Kraus laughed sarcastically, and Eva, smiling sweetly, returned an identical chuckle. Yeah. You ask whether he will still be healthy next year. But as a doctor, it's very hard to say. Because while I do think this lull in his condition will continue for a while,
何らかの発
He
作が来
suffers
れ
some
ば
kind of fit.
そ
There
の
may
時
be
には
nothing
ど
we
うし
can
よう
do.
もないかもしれません。何しろ
After all,
老犬島は孤島です。
Rokenjima is a solitary island.
すぐに救
It's
急車
not
が
as
飛
though
ん
an
でこれるわ
ambulance
け
could
では
quickly
あ
jump
り
in
ま
to
せん。
save him.
本来ならば
Normally, I would
今
want to
度
have
の
him
しかる
placed
べ
in
き
a large
大病
hospital
院
in the
に
mainland,
入院してい
but
ただきたいところなので
he
す
ain't
が
gonna agree to that.
親父殿は
Father
高尚な
stated
研
he does
究
not
を
want
中
his
断さ
noble
れたくない
research
と
interrupted.
去年無理に連れ出そうと
Seems
し
he
た
holds a
のが
grudge over the way we tried to force him out last year.
外へ出れば病院
Apparently,
に
he
閉じ込めら
strongly
れてしまう
suspects
の
that
で
he'll
は
be
ない
shut
か
away in some
とひどく
hospital
お
if he
疑
goes
いにな
outside.
られすっかりこのざ
And
ま
that's
な
how things are now.
南條先生
Has
の
Dr.
診
Nanjo
察
been
は
examining?
受けておられるの？
親父殿は
Father
南條
trusts
先生
Dr.
には
Nanjo.
ご機嫌が良ければ
Seems he
診
can
察
be
も受けられ
examined
る
when in
よ
one of his better moods.
容体を
Can
見ます
examine his condition, but if I try to recommend medicine or hospitalization, he refuses to listen.
本当に
I've really only been able to look.
お医者嫌い
It's
の
true, some
方
people
も
hate
多いもんや
doctors.
しかし
Still, what a
も
hassle.
んだの
Yeah, Nanjo sighed deeply. Purpose of an examination is to determine what medical treatment would be appropriate. Receiving an examination and not following the advice given makes the whole thing pointless.
つまりおさらい
So,
する
to
と
sum it up,
相変わらず余
he's
命
still
は
expected
3
to
ヶ
live
月
3 months.
禁止のまま
There's no way to guess
あ
how
とど
long
れ
he'll
だけ
continue to
長い
live
か
while still on
見
the
当も
verge
つ
of
かねえ
death.
ってことだ
ルドルフさん、
Rudolph-san,
言葉を少し
couldn't
慎
you be a
まれ
little
て
more
はいかがです
discreet
か？
with your words?
ああすまん
Sorry.
昔からこう
I've
いう
always
口の
talked
利
this
き方
way.
なんだ勘弁してくれ
Give me a break. No.
南條先
I
生のご意
understand
見
how
は分か
Dr.
りま
Nanjo
した。
sees it.
クラウス兄さんから見
What
て
about you,
どうなの？
Cross-Nissan? Hmm.
実を言うと
To be perfectly
南
honest,
條
I have
先
to
生とは
disagree
異
with
なる
Dr.
意見
Nanjo.
とても余命
I
3ヶ
find it
月の
truly
重病人
difficult
と
to
は
think
思
of
えない
father
と
as
い
a
うのが
person so
本質
sick that he only has 3 months to live.
怒鳴り声は
His
相変
yell
わら
is
ず
as healthy as
健在
ever,
で
and I still get
いつ
chills at
ぶん
the
殴ら
thought
れ
of
るか
his
とヒヤヒヤ
fists
し
raining
た
down
そ
on
れ
me.
長男にだけ親父
Pushing
の世
the
話
care
を
of
押
your
し付ける
father
の
solely
は
on the
実に
shoulders
フ
of
ェ
the
アでは
eldest
ない
sibling is far from fair.
来世では
In the
俺よ
next
り後
world,
に
to get
生ま
born
れる
after me.
さて
Okay,
話を戻
let's
そう
get
ぜ
back on track.
そんなわけで
So, in the opinion of our impartial and neutral doctor, it wouldn't be odd for him to go
い
at
つ
any
お隠れ
time.
になっち兄貴には悪い
No
が
offense to you, Aniki, but I'd rather trust the opinion of an expert in his field.
となりゃ
Which means it's definitely not too early to start talking about Dad's
時期尚
assets.
早ではないってことさ
お父様の個人
Father's
資産
personal
は
funds probably
お
reach
そ
as
ら
high
く
as
数
several
百
10
億に
billion
も
yen,
届くでしょうね。
right?
でもそれは
But it's not as though
綺麗
that's
な
all
現金で
neatly
揃ってる
gathered
わ
as
けじゃ
ready
ないわ。
cash.
お誕生
It's
会の
not
ケ
as
ー
simple
キ
as
みたい
simply
に
cutting a
綺
birthday
麗
cake
に
with a
ナイフが
knife.
入ってカットできるほど単純じゃ。
姉貴の例えは
That's an
面白い
interesting way to put it.
そうさ
That's right. You sometimes get strawberries or chocolates on top of the cake, making it hard to
綺麗に興奮するの
cleanly
が
cut into equal
難しいことだ
parts.
ってそれを加味して
Given that, don't you think it's important to discuss beforehand how to best stick the knife in?
それを
Cannot
当主
understand
様が
how
存
you
命
all
のうち
can
から
openly
さも
discuss
他界
this
な
as
され
though
た
the
かのよう
family
に
has
声高に
dead,
議論される皆
even
さん
though
の
he's still
気が知れ
alive.
ません。あら、
Come now,
必要な
don't you see how
話よ。
important this is?
だって遺産相
After
続
all, when the
その
time
時点
comes,
で
the inheritance of his
直ちに
fortune
行わ
must
れ
be
なきゃなら
carried
な
out
いものよ。
immediately, right?
ましてや
Moreover, the
英国の
glorious
後ろに
Ushiromiya
だけの財産は
house
莫大。
wealth is vast.
事前に入念な
Don't you
相談が
understand that
必要な
careful
ことはお分
discussion
か
is
りでしょう
necessary
が、
beforehand?
当家の資産
There's a
は
huge difference between this
あな
family's
たのご
resources
実
and
家と
your
は大
family's
違
wealth.
いなんだから。
Cool.
失礼な。
Yeah. How rude. How rude.
私の実家は
My
関係あ
birth
りません。
family has nothing to do with this. Natsuki responded indignantly, though in a low voice, and the already dark atmosphere grew even more hostile. Yeah, I know, right? Me too. It is about dinner time. Give it a rest, Eva.
夏日さん
Natsuki-san, forgive us.
口が悪い
Pardon her
許したって
rudeness.
な
Hideyoshi tried to smooth things over by glancing at both with a forced smile, but only resulted in making the hostility between Eva and Natsuki even more intense. Cat fight, cat fight, cat fight. Natsuki, get her ass! Natsuki, get her ass!
これ以上は お邪魔なようです。
Seems I'll just get in the way if I stay any longer.
失礼させていた
Please
だきましょう。
excuse me. Yeah, I'd probably leave then too. Nanjo rose from his seat and exited the parlor. Smart man. To an outsider, it may have seemed like a normal act of courtesy, but his back was watched by several glances, envious of his ability to escape. Yep. After the doctor had exited and his footsteps had disappeared into the distance, Kraus recrossed his legs. Try saying that 5 times
つま
fast.
りお前
In
たち
other
の言い
words,
分
this is
は
what you all would like to say.
親父殿の
Father's
余命は
remaining life
短
is
い。
short.
遺産分配
We
に
want
つ
to
いて
quickly
早
enter
急
into
か
a
つ具体
practical
的な協
conference
議に
concerning the
入り
distribution of his inheritance.
何を焦っているのか。
Why are you so eager, I wonder?
確かにお前たちの言
Certainly,
う
as
通
you
り、
say,
後ろ宮家
estimating
の
and
財産
distributing
を
the
算定し
Ushiromiya
分配する
family's
のは
wealth
簡
is
単な
no
こと
simple
ではないだ
task.
ろう。なれば、
In that case,
じっくり
shouldn't
と
we
算
make
定すべ
careful
き
and
じゃない。
deliberate calculations?
お前たちは今
Seems to
晩の
me
うち
you
に
are
は
all
ケーキを
impatient
切り
to
分け
split
たい
up
と
the
焦っ
cake
ているよう
tonight.
に見える。そうだろう。
Is that true,
どうぞ。
Rosa?
何を焦ることが
What
ある
reason
の
is
か。
there to be hasty? We aren't being
焦ってる
hasty.
でも
However,
兄弟
we need to
の
have an
間での
agreement
取り
between
決め
the
は必要。
siblings. It doesn't matter when we do that.
お父様の具合
But
が
if the
悪
day
くなって
father's
いて
conditions worsen,
その日が近づ
condition
いている
worsens
と
is
いうなら
approaching.
先に話だけし
Discussing
て
the
おい
matter
ても
beforehand hardly
それ
seems
は
hasty
請
to
求
me.
とは言わないと思うし
Rosa shot a glance at Eva and Rudolph. As the youngest sibling in the family, it was hard for her to be cross-examined by the eldest. Yeah, fuck them, Lodge. Ay, ay, ay.
ほう
Oh,
それはお前
is
の
that your
本
true
心
opinion?
兄弟で
I
一
didn't
番素直
expect
で
that
綺
the
麗な
most
心を持
honest
って
and
いたお
pure-hearted
前
of
が
the siblings would
そ
say
んなこと
something
を
like
言い出
that.
す。そこの二
I
人
wonder
に
if
吹
those
き込
two
まれた
told
ん
you
じゃ
the
ない
same.
か。
よせよ兄貴。
Quit it, Aniki.
ローザだって兄
Rosa's
弟
one
だ
of
ぜ。
Dad's kids, too.
親父の遺産に
She's got as
公平
much
な
right to his inheritance as the rest of us.
関心を持つ
It's
のは
only
当
natural
然じゃ
that
ね
she'd be interested.
え。親父だっていつかは
After all,
必ず死
Dad'll
ぬし
definitely die.
それは
And
遠い
that's
未
not
来
something
の
that'll
話じゃな
happen
い
in the distant future.
むしろ兄貴が
On the contrary,
悠長
Aniki,
すぎる
you're
くら
way
いさ
too relaxed.
まるで遺産分配から
Almost seems like you'd like nothing better than to turn the discussion away from the inheritance issue.
それはどういう意味ですか？
What do you mean by that?
主人に
Are
や
you
ましいと
trying
こ
to
ろがある
accuse
とおっ
my
しゃいたい
husband
の
of
ですか？
something?
まあ
Calm down, Natsuhi-san.
話は聞いて
Listen to what
お
we
ら
have
れ
to say.
兄さん、
Nii-san, I hear the
今は
times have
大
been
変強気
extremely
だそうじゃ
good
ない？
lately.
そうよね。
Yes, since last year we've been on an
去年以
unprecedented
降
boom.
空前
and
の
the yen
好景
keeps
気
on
で
rising.
円はドルが100
It
円
seems
に
that
至
it's
る
no
のだって
longer a
夢
dream
物
that the
語じゃ
dollar
な
will
さ
reach
そう
100 yen.
よ。それに
Also, the ruling
与 党
party says
は
that
来
it'll
年
establish
号
health resort
に雇用
maintenance law
整
by
理
next
法
year.
を成立。今や日
At
本
this
中
moment,
の
resort
リゾート
development
開発
companies
会
across
社が
Japan are
ど
running
れだけ
about
軍資
trying to
金を
gather as
集め
much
られるかっ
funding
て
as they
奔
can.
走してるところよ。
詳しいじゃない
You
か。
certainly seem to know a lot about it.
これから日本には
Japan is
空
about
前
to
の
experience an
好景気が訪れ
unprecedented
る。
boon. Yeah, Hideyoshi hates this. Hideyoshi is like, God, stop. Just stop for 5 seconds. Stop fighting for 5 seconds, please. Please, I can't keep smoothing this over. I can't keep covering for my asshole wife. She just won't stop making enemies.
親父殿が後ろ宮
The
家を
repeat
再
of the
興した時
Korean
と
War
同じくらい
demands, the
の
time during
大
which
規模な
father
需要
revived the
拡大の
Ushiromiya
時代が
family.
ね、日本国民は
People
死に
of
物
Japan
狂い
have
で
been
働
working like
き、
mad,
高度経
achieving
済成長
fast
を実
economic
現して世
growth,
界で一番豊かな国民となり、
becoming the most well-off people in the
我が家の
world,
春を
reaching the
謳
height
歌す
of
る
our
ようになっ
prosperity.
た。国民の消
We've
費は
reached
増
an era
大
where
し、
private spending
それ
is
を回収
vast,
でき
which
る施
means
設
easy
が
money
白
for
然を手にする
institutions
時
that
代
can
になった
capitalize on
のだ。
that fact.
今や国
The
民の
three
ニー
kinds
ズ
of
は
electrical
三種の
appliances
電
no
化製
longer
品では
represent the
ない。
people's needs.
スキー場、ゴルフ場、
Yeah, the kids
そ
are
の他
the kids are probably having a great time. People need ski resorts, golf courses, public pools,
リゾートホテルに
resort
テーマ
hotels, and
パーク。
theme parks.
数年前に開
You've
業
gone
した
to
ディズニーランドに
Disneyland. Disneyland. I was not prepared for Disneyland. Delvin Bland, that works as well. Disneyland.
素晴らしい遊
What
園
an
地だ。
excellent theme park. It's a place where even an adult can be a kid and have fun with his family. I hope that almost does. No longer do we count our sole virtue to be selfless devotion while failing to care for our families. We have become the most prosperous people in the world. Now we can finally enjoy the benefits. Krauss-san, foresight's nothing to sneeze at. I heard that sort of thing several years ago and I thought it was crazy. When I heard about the G5 Nations Plaza Accord, that all changed. Yen shut up, and I'll bet the price of land skyrockets soon, too. Won't be long before Japan becomes the economic center of the world. Got a great sense of direction the world's moving, Krauss-san. At least there can be no debate about that. I feel the same as Hideyoshi-san. Aniki, you can read into the next decade of history. I'll bet you got that keen sense from Dad, and it's incredible. However, unlike Dad, the timing of your predictions has been a bit off sometimes, right? Nii-san, you've been starting resort projects everywhere, convinced that Japan will soon see a boom, but almost all of them continue to fail. Well, I'm sure that the era you predicted will soon arrive. It seems you misread the timing of that boom. You were too early. You then panicked and tried to sell everything off, which only opened the wound even further. If your nose was really so reliable, there should be no reason for you to sell off your property. Is this proof that you mistrust your own ability? You keep saying that. How rude! Are you trying to insult my husband? Natsui's forehead creased as she rose from the sofa. Eva, paying this no heed, stared at Krauss with a confident smile. Krauss, who also maintained his confident appearance, told Natsui to sit down. Please stop, Natsui. Eva's always been incapable of talking any other way. Calm down a little, or your headache will get worse. One of these days her head's gonna pop like a balloon. Oh, hold on. I knew it. Bastard. There you go. There's proof of your lack of talent right next to us. After all, Nii-san, weren't you all excited about turning this island into a resort? You built a wonderful resort hotel and beautifully maintained the garden. I'm just an amateur and don't pretend to understand, but you must have used a significant amount of money for that, right? What is that to you? My husband's business is none of yours. Actually, that's not true, Natsui-san. Rokenjima doesn't belong to Aniki. It belongs to Dad. Of course, the hotel does belong to Aniki, right? In fact, we've been more than willing to pay the lodging fees for tonight. Yeah, fight! Oh, that's right, I need to do it like this. I'm rearranging some things because I goofed it. I done goofed. In a particular way of... Since I only have one screen, I have a particular way I have to keep it all organized. What do you think, Rosa? Well, if what I have on hand will suffice, I can make it into a resort. These islands' financial worth will rise. It's true that expenses have piled up, but we can expect a large harvest in the future. When that happens, all of you stand to profit as well, do you not? I understand that. The value of this island rises, that'll increase our portions when we distribute the inheritance. Of course, I won't ask you to divide the island in its mansion into 4 equal parts. We can just resolve the matter with money equal to the value of the property. If you understand that much, what about my business makes you so dissatisfied? We aren't dissatisfied, we're uneasy. In the first place, Aniki, when you plan to open that hotel? Left this way, you won't get anything out of it except our grubby handprints, right?
そうよ。
That's right.
大切な商
It's an
売道
important
具でし
tool
ょ。
for your business, isn't it?
確かに
Surely you
開業
can't
する
keep it
までずっ
locked
と
up
鍵を
until
か
the
けてお
moment
く
you
わけに
open
もいかない
it.
わ。少しは使って
Buildings
風
go
通
bad
し
if
を
you
良
don't
くし
use
ないと
them and air them
建
out
物は
every
傷ん
once
じ
in
ゃ
a
うも
while.
の。でも
Even so, it's a bit
私たちが
extravagant
年
for a
に一
guest
度泊ま
house
る
that
だ
we
けの
only
ゲス
use
トハウ
once
ス
a
って言
year.
うんじゃねえ
Right,
ローザ
That's
そう
right.
ね。あんなに素敵な
Considering
ら
how wonderful
オー
it
プ
is,
ン
I'm
した
sure it
ら
will
さ
become
ぞや
quite
人気
popular
が出る
once
で
you
しょう
open it.
ね。あ
Oh,
あ、あなたが前に
so
言
the
ってた
hotel
ホ
you
テル
keep
って
talking about is the
ゲ
guest
ストハウスのこ
house.
とだったのね。
立派なもんだろ
Splendid.
ローザの言う
Just
通
as
り
Rosa said, if you were to open it, I'm sure it would become popular. The lodging they had been guided to wasn't originally intended to serve as a guest house. It was originally constructed as a resort hotel. However, even though it was built 2 years previously, there was still absolutely no prospect of it opening.
兄さんのいつも
Nice,
の事
it's
業
just
と
like all
同
of
じ
your
よ。
enterprises.
着目
Your
や
attention and
企画
planning are
がご
both
立派。
fabulous.
そしていつも途
Then
中
it
で
always
立ち行かな
becomes
くなって何も回収
unmaintainable
で
partway
きずに
through
終
and
わ
ends
る。
before you have a chance to earn any profit. Oh yeah, I forgot about Kyrie.
ただ住むだけにし
You
か
were
使わない
brilliant
のは
when
も
you
っ
saw
た
that
いない
using
っ
this
て
island only as a
兄貴の
place to
着
live
眼
was
が
a
言った
waste.
そしてリゾー
I
ト化
think it
し
was a
て
pretty good plan to
マ
turn
リ
it
ンス
into
ポ
a
ーツ
resort
やら
because
フィッ
you
シ
sort
ン
of
グやら
use the prospect of
ハネムーンやらを誘
marine
致して
sports,
盛り上げ
fishing,
ようってのは
honeymoons, and the like
な
to
かなかい
attract
い絵だったと思う
customers.
ぜ
If I were the oldest son, I'm sure I'd have strained my brain looking for a way to make a profit off this island.
でももう
But
出来上
2 full
がってから
years
2
have
年も
passed since
経
you
つの
finished
よ。
building, right?
2年経っ
After
て
2
未だ
years,
に
you still
開業
haven't
の
had
め
the
どはつかない
opportunity to
の。
open it.
任せてる
Where's
管理
the
会社
managing
は
company you
ど
entrusted it
こ
to?
失敬な。
Alright, Natsuhi, you keep protecting your husband, and he doesn't seem to care. He does not seem particularly perturbed. And you just keep getting madder and madder. Impertinence!
それは主人の
That
手
is
落ち
not
ではあ
my
りません。
husband's fault.
主人の仕事を受
There's
けよう
been
会
just
社
been
間
some
でト
trouble
ラブ
with
ル
the
が生じ
company
て
that
い
my
るだけ
husband
で、う
contracted
ち
with.
はあくまで
No
も
matter
支
how
援
you
者
look
で
at
す。
it, we are the victims here.
しかしな
And yet,
クラウス兄
the
さんが
rumors
任
we've
せ
heard
て
about
る
this company
例の
you
とこ
hired
あまり英語
haven't
はそう
been good
聞
at
か
all.
んで
はっきり言ってあげな
Let's
さ
be
い
clear
よ。
about this, dear.
不払い、横
Did you
領、トラブ
really
ルで
think we
計
wouldn't
画
hear
が
about how
空
lack
中
of
分
payment,
解しちゃったっ
embezzlement,
て
and other
話。
issues led to the project
私た
disintegrating
ちの耳に
mid-flight?
届かないとでも思ってる？裏も取れてるんだから。
We even have evidence. Sorry, I got distracted a little bit.
何の裏だか存じませんが、事実無根です。
I don't know what kind of evidence you think you've found, but it's all baseless.
観光業への
As
新
new
規参
members
入
in
に
the
は
tourism
公
industry,
募
it
へ
is
のリバース
necessary
が
for us
必
to
要
lay
にな
the
ります。
groundwork of various people.
相手が信用
It
に
is
借り
also
るかを
important
測
to
ることも
investigate
大
the
事です。
trustworthiness of our partners.
それに手間取って
It's
いるだけ
merely
ですい
taken
ま
us
せん。
some time to meet that goal.
ホテルの完成が
I'll
早
admit
すぎ
that,
て
in my
うさぎ足にな
rashness,
った
the
こと
hotel
は
was
認め
completed
る
too early.
だが
However,
維持
it's
費が
not as
か
though
か
we're
ってるわ
paying
けじゃない
maintenance costs.
やがて大きな
It's
意
a
味を持
foundation
つ
that will eventually become immensely significant.
嘘つけよ
Baseless? I think the evidence is based. Based on what? Liar.
生産したくて
I'll
も売れ
bet
な
you
い
want
だ
to
けだろ
liquidate it, but can't.
観光ルートの
After
確
all,
立して
there's
ない
no reason
何
for
もない
anyone to
離
buy
島
such
に
an extravagant
だから豪華
hotel
なホテ
in
ル
an
なんて
isolated,
相
empty
手がつく
island
わけ
without
ない
any
です
established sightseeing routes.
それに事
And
業
anyway,
に
what
寄せ
about
た
all the
融資は
loans
ど
you
うなってん
made
だ
for this project?
維持費はかか
And
らん
if
で
you
も
aren't incurring
改正
maintenance
借
costs,
金
the
は
borrowed
膨ら
money
む
that you
一方や
can't return just keeps growing.
すまんが
Sorry,
クラウス
Kraus
兄さん
Nissan.
この島の開
I've
発計
investigated
画
the
の話
development plan for this
ちょ
island
っ
a
と
bit.
正直こっ
To
ち
be
も
honest,
ええ
I haven't
話
heard
は
anything
聞
good
かへん
either.
のや秀吉さん
Hideyoshi-san.
確かに今の財
I
政
see how you
状
might be
況だ
left
けを見
with
た
that
らそういう
impression by
印象を
looking
持たれ
only
る
at the
かもしれん
current financial situation.
だが
However, this is a forward-looking investment. I have no choice but to admit that my prediction was mistaken, and that up till now, several liabilities have been created. However, the times have finally caught up with me. I will soon regain everything I have lost up to this point. No, actually, all of my investments I have made until now will finally return to my possession. That's right, just like throwing away a small fry which then becomes a salmon. They will come back even bigger than before. I'll accept that. The resort business will probably see an unprecedented boom before long, though I don't know if it'll be enough to cover all your debt. However, Krasny-san, through all your failures in the past, who exactly do you expect to provide you with funding? And this isn't some small amount we're talking about. You need enough funding to fill the massive hole you dug.
秀吉さんは何をおっしゃいたいのですか
Every time. What are you trying to say, Hideyoshi-san? Natsui-san. Please don't get angry. Looked into this too. We checked out to see who might have provided Krasny-san with enough financing to support his recent large-scale projects, despite his string of failures. A small fry. As in like a small little fishy. Small fry just in the terms of small thing. Yeah. We discovered that no such backer exists. The iron rule of the money roulette is that you bet against the loser. Aniki, you're a fairly well-known loser in this field. Yeah, I did too, just because I'm hungry for a little bit. It's true that prosperous times are about to come, but when we looked for people who considered that enough to overlook your string of failures, and also had enough for the investment, we found no candidates. So, the big question now is where you got that money from. Now isn't this intriguing? And... Dear, how long do you plan to let these ridiculous remarks stand? Sit down, Natsuhi-san. Let's cut to the point. Aniki, you've been diverting Dad's private funds for your own businesses. There's pretty much no room for doubt. You think we've made some kind of mistake? Please feel free to explain. Rudolph, don't call it diverting funds. This is embezzlement, plain and simple. A huge crime that can be criminally prosecuted. This sort of rudeness cannot be tolerated. How can you face the successor to the Ushiromiya head family and level these absurd accusations? They aren't absurd, they're right on the mark. I'm sure he'd like to somehow make his businesses succeed and recover its losses, but his debt keeps getting bigger. He's just trying to cover up the failure of one gamble by making an even bigger one. It's only natural he'd try to grab any source of funding close at hand. Let me be frank. Nissan, what you're doing is embezzlement. You're betraying father. You know that we'll have the courts settle this after it's all over, right? Do you think that kind of person has any right to call themselves the successor to the Ushiromiya head family? Yep, they're trying to blackmail him into passing on the success, and success suckship. The suckship. I'm gonna call it the suck. Eh? Of all the... You dare to claim that he has betrayed the family head? You no longer have the right to straddle the threshold of the glorious Ushiromiya family. Leave this place at once. Now! Get out! Natsuhi, who had already reached the limits of her anger, shouted at Eva in a rage. Yeah, I fished this up. What do I do with it? Frickin' Rudolph-san just says, throw it back. It's too small. Throw it back. It's too small a fish. She then pointed alternatively at Eva in the hallway, demanding that she leave. Eva took out a folding fan and fanned herself with it, glaring maliciously at Natsuki as though silently daring her to repeat what she'd said. However, her mouth was still smiling, curved in the shape of a crescent moon. In that unpleasant silence, Rosa gulped. Yeah, I'll come back later.
夏日姉さん
Natsuki-ne-san?
誰
To
に向か
whom
っ
do you
て
think
そ
you
ん
are
な
speaking
口
in
を
such a
お聞きな
tone?
の無礼極まりな
I'm
い
speaking
主
to
人
the
の妹
exceedingly
に対して
rude
です
sister of my husband.
これ以上
As the
私も
person in
ポッケの
charge of the
大
main
袋を
family's
扱う者として
kitchen,
聞
I
き捨てな
cannot
りません
overlook any more of this.
台所を預
In
か
charge of the
る
kitchen?
黙るがいい
Be silent,
この名ばかりに思う
lowly
が
maidservant. Oh, she's such a bitch. Eva folded the fan with a snap and rose to her feet energetically. Compared to the elegance and playfulness she'd shown until a second ago, she was now unimaginably aggressive.
バカバカしい
How
お前が
foolish.
下がりなさい
You stand down.
この
Before Eva of the
後ろ宮エヴァに
Ushiromiya family.
当主様の
You
左肩を
tell
許
you
され
tell
てい
me
る
to stand
後ろ
down?
宮家序列第
Me,
3位の
Ushiromiya
このエヴァ
Eva,
に
the
下が
third
れ
ranked in the
と
Ushiromiya family hierarchy, and the one allowed to sit at the left shoulder of the head.
身の程
Know
を
your
知りなさい
place.
そしてお前のその
And
み
then
すぼら
look
し
at
い
your
姿を
shabby
鏡に映して
self
み
in a
る
mirror.
お前の服に
Where
ど
is
こ
the
に
symbol of the
翼が
wing on your clothes?
どこに輝
Where
く
are you
のわしが
permitted
許
to
されてい
wear
る
the
のか
one-winged angel?
貴様な
Aren't you
ど
nothing more than a
後ろ宮
borrowed
家の跡
womb
継
to
ぎを
house the
残
next
すためだけの
successor to the
存在じゃない
Ushiromiya
の
family?
身の程をわきま
Understand
る
your
がいい
place, you
この
common
傑作めが
housemaid. Eva's face twisted hideously as her words gouged into Natsuhi's heart like talons, wrenching at it. Yeah. I mean, she's saying worse than that. There were 100 ways Natsuhi wanted to respond. However, her anger and sorrow crushed her throat. None of those words managed to make it to her mouth. Her anger had nowhere to go. It became a single hot tear that slowly dripped down.
なーに
What's wrong?
何か言い
If you
返
have
したい
something
な
to
ら
say, please
ど
do
うぞ
so.
言い返しなさいほ
Come
ーら
on. Eva faced her with a provocative gaze. However, Natsuhi could do nothing but tremble, her clenched fists quivering. Kraus quietly broke that powder keg tension.
Natsuhi,
Natsuhi,
席を外し
leave
なさ
your
い
seat.
頭を冷や
You
す
should
とい
go
い
cool your head. What? Natsuhi, resenting the fact that her husband had not come to her aid, shifted the focus of her attack. Yeah, jeez. She was trying to defend her husband. Dear, don't you understand what they're saying about
こ
you?
の人たちは言うに
These
答え
people are
て
baselessly calling you a traitor to father.
私たちが後ろ宮
They're
家の栄
making
光
light
を
of the
守
fact
る
that we protect the glory of the Ushiromiya family, and that we're constantly expending every effort to earn that glory from father.
お父様からそれを
Trample all that
受け継
underfoot
ぐ
with
た
our
め日々
hateful
攻撃してあろうとす
rambling.
るあなたもあな
And
たです
you don't even
ど
try
う
to
して言
fight
い返
back.
さないんですか
Why? Because it's true.
あなたが言い返さない
I'm
から
only
私が
standing
言い
up for
返
us.
しているのに
Because you won't,
さっ
but you've
きか
been
ら
putting the
あなたは
entire
私
burden
に
on
任
me
せ
for
っきり
some
で
time now.
その私
And now you tell me to go cool my head?
いつも
It's
私は
always me.
私は
And though I've always considered this
いつも
family's
真剣
affairs
に
so
この家の
seriously,
ことを
you...
考え
Natsuhi was already unable to hide her tears. She flew from the room in that state. After that, all that remained was a somewhat embarrassed mood about the parlor. And the sound of footsteps grew distant and silent returns. Grew distant and silence returned. Kraus shrugged his shoulders slightly. Ugh.
妻が失礼した
Yeah, Hideyoshi. Yeah, I apologize for my wife. She has always been bad at controlling her emotions. But Yoshi. It's even been rough for me. If that's what's been managing your household, you must suffer to no end, Nisan. Madame, it's nothing. Leave me be. Natsu flew into her room and threw herself onto her bed, lamenting. Those heart-wrenching sobs reached Kumasawa in the hallway. Poor Madame Natsuhi. There's a deep enmity between her and Iwa-sama. Explaining the relationship would be very trying for me as a woman. The Ushiromiya family holds blood in high regard, but if a woman marries and leaves the family, they are normally removed from the family register. Thus, under normal circumstances, Iwa-sama should have been removed when she married Hideyoshi-sama. However, there is no one deserving of blame in this matter. The Madame certainly blames no guilt. There's nothing to call it other than a will of God. Kraus-sama and Natsuhi-sama were not blessed with children for some time. After all, this is the male-dominant Ushiromiya family. A wife is merely a tool to create an heir. Such a wife cannot fulfill her only duty. She will not even be treated as human. Pains me to remember how the master tortured Madame during that time. Back then, a wedding between Iwa-sama and Hideyoshi-sama was being discussed. Iwa-sama was sly. Taking advantage of Madame's inability to become pregnant, she gained the favor of the master. She inspired him to allow her to marry and give birth to a successor herself, making sure to avoid transferring her name out of the Ushiromiya register. There's a vast difference in the Ushiromiya hierarchy between Madame, who married into the Ushiromiya family and was treated like an outsider. Yeah, I like Mako Grandma, and Iwa-sama, who is related to the family by blood and whose husband took on the Ushiromiya name. Furthermore, Iwa-sama actually gave birth first into a boy. As for how much weaker Madame's position was than Iwa-sama's, well, I believe you could see for yourself. I'm sure Madame is tormented by the thought that, if only she had gotten pregnant earlier, the master wouldn't have accepted Iwa-sama's request to keep her last name after marriage, and Iwa-sama wouldn't have been permitted to act as arrogantly as she did today. However, that was not Madame's fault. All of the blame lies with God's whims and the stork that delivered Jessica late. Even so, Madame won't allow herself to see things this way. She probably can't help but cry bitter tears as a woman at her inability to carry out the duties expected of a wife. Hey, anybody else think the way this family does stuff is a bit fucked up? Like, damn, y'all, you guys are really living in the dark ages, you fucks. Get with the times. Sheesh. That's what's holding you back. Guys probably missed out on a billion business opportunities because you fucks are so misogynistic. Yeah, it's fucked up. How sad. Cannot do anything except watch over her from the shadows. Fucking patriarchal bullshit. Oh. Rewinding? Okay. I didn't expect to see the clock rewind anytime. I'm getting tired and I need to eat dinner, and I've been going for... How long have I been going for? I know I stopped and started the stream somewhere along the line. I've been going at least like 5 hours, maybe 6. So I think I'm gonna end it here for today. We got a lot. We got A lot of drama. A lot of drama. Jesus, so much drama. Ay, 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 too much drama. Let me see if I can find somebody for us to raid. I try to do that. Got gifted a... Could you imagine the kind of fucking... Could you imagine what the chaos in the family would be like if that had happened? Like if frickin' Kraus-san comes home and just is like, hey, here's my husband. Oh my god. Do you know what kind of a petty ass fit the grandpa would throw? Oh my god. He would be such a bitch about it. Let's see. Ay, ay, ay. What a fucked up family. And I'm sure we're only hitting the tip of the iceberg. I'm sure it's only gonna get worse as we keep going. We're gonna find more and more messed up shit. Let me see. Is anyone playing any... Oh, somebody's playing Get in the Car. I don't know them really well, though. Let's see. Sleepy. I think I saw... If I can't find anybody specific, I usually just pick someone that I know at least decently well. Don't want to be sending you guys to somebody I don't know super well, at least. You know? He's playing the Fruit of Grisaya. You know what? I'm probably gonna watch this, so yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Tomorrow I'm gonna be playing, Fata Morgana. So we are getting into... I mean, we've been quite a lot of spoilers, so if you don't want spoilers for that, but I'm gonna raid into... Let me see. I gotta wait for the ad. I think Amumu-sama is who I'm thinking. They are playing a good visual novel I played. I had never played it on stream, but The Fruit of Grisaya. It's really weird. It's really weird, and I really like it. So it's like basically the main character is basically this like child soldier, but he's like asked for like a normal life. So the best they can do for him is to send him to this like really like weird school that has like a bunch of other kids that needed to be sent off to like their own school. So, but it's all it's all girls, and then he's the only guy. But like everyone else there is weird as hell too. It's great, and he also has to like occasionally like do like sniper missions and stuff or whatever. It's so weird. I kind of love how weird it is though. It's great. Honestly, the storyline, you will not be able to predict where like the specific routes go. They go so far off the rails. It's great. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming. I will be streaming early. I'll try to stream early tomorrow as well. Fata Morgana should be a lot of fun. That game is so good. I might cry again. We'll see. But it'll be a good cry if I do. Alright, thank you everybody for coming. I really appreciate it. I am gonna go eat dinner and chill. And I hope everyone else chills as well. So bye-bye. Thank you, Michaela. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody. Love ya. Mwah. Bye-bye.